You got the card from CR Maryland, and you decided to work with them. Why did they stand out?
He looked honest and he talked honest,
Mm-hmm.
and he was good looking, and we had a nice conversation. I even liked your impression that I got from you more than from Alexander. I don't know why, but you just had a way of making me feel
Oh,
trusting.
well, good.
I'm not
Good.
supposed to be able to trust a stranger, but it worked out that that very day that you came to see the house,
Mhm.
he said, I'd like to write a contract. And I couldn't resist it. I couldn't believe it. But you have an honest way of approach to a stranger.
Well, thank you.
And I let you come to my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Twice.
he came to Edenwall, and I invited him to come on up to the apartment because
Mhm.
we didn't have a space to throw our things out on the table to look.
Mhm.
I was so excited about it that this how it started.
Mm-hmm.
And what can I say? But otherwise, I accepted what he was offering,
Mm-hmm.
and he paid for all the closing costs. So I got fairly close to what I was hoping I'd get.
Awesome. That sounds pretty good.
And the
So-
settlement, when I thought, do I trust these people? I mean, you just never know. And I thought, and when he told me he's going to settle in 10 days, that was the biggest shock of all. Because I'd never settled on a house in 10 days. And I was an agent for 25 years.
So the one thing that is interesting to me, if you wouldn't mind talking to, so once, after we first met at the apartment, and we got everything signed up, can you talk about your excitement with having the relief of having the property off your hands and the stress? You were talking about how stressful it was worrying about the property. Could you talk a little bit about that?
I can't feel right now the way I felt at that point, because nothing would be able that I could describe could equal the way I felt at that time, because I was so relieved. And the relief was almost as good as when you handed me the check. and it was pouring the rain.
Yeah.
When you gave me that check.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, Art, do you think we can get to the bank? Because Art had to go out, my husband had to go out to the car and get my umbrella for me even, because it was pouring the rain.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost like 5 o'clock, and we were afraid the bank had already closed. And so we decided to wait till the next morning to take it to the bank. God, were we relieved. And found out that the check went right through.
Right through.
And so I was relieved all over again, because I was not supposed to trust strangers,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't look like a stranger to me.
So you felt like you could trust Ed.
I trust more people more than I think I do. And so that's how I felt about it.
Good.
And I'm glad I feel this way,
Mm-hmm.
because you can change your whole life if you don't trust everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I just couldn't accept that feeling. And it would have been a terrible thing, but I just couldn't feel anyway but good things about him as well as Alexander.
Mm-hmm. So would you recommend other people work with Ed and Alexander if they're looking to sell a house?
By all means, I would pass the word on. Everything else was perfect.
Mhm.
To think that you settled in 10 days, that was the biggest shock of all.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe that's 25 years work with real estate
Mhm.
companies. I've never had that happen. I always had to wait at least 2 months
Yeah.
to settle. And to think, I thought that was unreal. That was the only unreal thing that I thought, I'm not sure if this is fraud or, should I trust them?
Mhm.
That's why I was so anxious to get that check in the mail.
Right,
In the
yeah.
post, in the bank.
Into the bank and see that
Because,
it was real. Yeah.
that gave me some doubt as to
Mhm.
where they were getting this money from.
Yeah, it seems too good to be true that people can come in and close in 10 days and make it as easy as possible, right?